Hello, Bill Molyneux here for Bill's War Game World. We're playing the Battle of Stevensburg, Virginia, 1863, June. We're not going to talk about the game. We're just going to be playing Brother Against Brother, scenario book, Gettysburg Cavalry Campaigns of Gettysburg by Scott Mingus, available on War Game Vault for only a few dollars. All right, you'll see playing cards are out here. They are for the reinforcements that come on, and this is a card-driven game. So our first unit that comes on the table for the Union is Alfred Duffy and 6th Ohio. So let's find our 6th Ohio. I got the 6th Ohio in place correctly. All right. And we are not going to use the two jokers after all. And I'll put these cards up here. If you haven't seen my previous videos, this arrives in turn 4. The cavalry unit, the Confederate 4th Virginia, which I broke into 2 companies, they arrive later. They're on turn 4. I got it right. Okay. So here we go. We're going to flip a card. And we flip another card. Here we go. All right. So we really don't have much of a choice. It's now a unit in this rule system. It's our South Carolina unit. And it can do move, shoot, charge, reload. And we'll be smoking the units when they fire. I also have hold fire. So we're going to place a hold fire marker out there for them to be able to fire in the future. So we'll put out a white powder puff. Okay. So the 2nd South Carolina, and all the units are labeled, and so aren't our officers. All right. Now, according to the scenario book, the 6th Ohio is in action. Well, they get to go. And I tripped over the dice box, if you're wondering what that noise is. And Bruce and everyone else who's watching this video, and Mr. Dave M. We're using all the breech loading muskets or carbines, firing from the saddle, and in the rules, they get a -1 to do that, to hit. So now these units, they move with dice. And there we go. 5, 6, and 4. We got 10 inches. Now, because I wanted the game to go along pretty good, speed-wise, everything is getting a bonus of 6. So 10 plus 6 is 16. So we're going to put our kernel over here, and we'll set off our turn die. And these woods are just really for decoration at this point. Okay, so the 6th Ohio, and the Game Master just moved that a little bit. And Colonel Duffy here, he's a +1 for our morale. There we go. All right, now the 2nd South Carolina is trying to decide if they want to fire from the saddle at this range. So sort of take this long unit at 19 inches. So we're anywhere between 19 and... Now these are carbines, so we're going to get out the chart. And this is pretty much all from brother against brother. And all I've done is, so we're at carbines. We are really at maximum range, long range. So they're in the open. And we need to have 1, 2s, and 3s on D20s. And we're firing, cavalry firing from the saddle is a -1. So it'd be a 1 or a 2, unless I want to get the range in closer. What do you think out there? I have to take a turn to reload. But you know what? We will go ahead and see if we can't score first blood. So, and we'll throw our 8 dice in here. All right. So the 2nd South Carolina, by the way, they're in skirmish formation. They get a -1 in hand-to-hand combat. I got to close them up, but I'm using a firing, and I only hit on 1s and 2s. Now there's no saving throws, so they did score 1 hit. And on a 20, the leader is hit, but with that did not happen. So we did hit one figure is dead, and they do get a morale marker. So there's our morale marker. And I did bring out the death markers. There we go. I gotta pause the camera and smoke these guys. Okay, well that's actually a whole turn of brother against brother. So what we do now is we take our 2 cards, and our next regiment is right here, and that's the king. And I have these labeled, by the way, so I know who's who. So on this turn, we're going directly into turn 2. We have our South Carolina unit, our 6th Ohio, and now we bring in the 1st Rhode Island. Okay. We'll get us into... And the objective, by the way, if you haven't watched any of the other videos, is for the Union to get off the far edge into the concrete cinder block wall. I'm shaking or shuffling my cards. And we flip one over. It's the North Carolina unit. Now, I can move, shoot, charge. I use half my movement to get out of... So I have 10, 12, 21, 21 and 6, 27. And the change formation, I'm not going to go into anything. I'm going to stay unloaded. I'm going to tighten up my line. And there we go. So now I don't suffer a -1 in hand-to-hand combat if I'm charged. Okay. And we have no morale marker. So our next unit is the 6th Ohio. The first thing they got to do is a morale check, okay, which is impossible to fail. But we'll see. Yeah, I had to roll, as long as I didn't roll a 10, but if I did roll a 10, I get 2 dice because they're veteran. So these units will not break very easy at all. until they suffer at least half casualties. So we remove our morale marker, and I don't know, pre-measuring. You know, in the world of wargaming, as I chit-chat here, in the world of wargaming, it's amazing how pre-measuring is evil and pre-measuring is fine. Well, this unit can either charge, or I'm going to charge, and I'm going to do my morale, which is anything but a 0. I roll a 0. Now I get a second chance with the colonel, and I'm fine now. So here we go. Sound the bugle call. There's been times I would take the iPad and do a bugle call, but I can't operate everything. So 6 and 4 is 10, 18, 22. And so Colonel Dunphy is going in. There we go. And they have suffered 1 loss. And there's our colonel, the Frenchman. And we're going to try to drive these South Carolina's fellas right out of our way. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to rattle off the melee system. We're just going to roll high die. They're both the same grade. We both have a leader. We'll have the leaders fight. And we're going to use a green die and a white die. We use a D10. High die wins. And we have no modifier really to speak of because we're both cavalry going in. And I got the dice box right there. And we're going to use this brush to help me remember where I'm at. Green is Confederates. Green, so. And unfortunately, I need to have the death markers. So the first one, they lost. And that's a tie. We re-roll. And a Confederate one. So we're here. And another Confederate loss. And that's a Union. Now we're here. And a 2 and a 6. That's a Confederate. And then here, this is another Confederate loss. And another Confederate loss. The North Carolina boys are getting chopped up. 3 and 7. And here, 6 and 7. Another Confederate loss. The extra figure gets a +1, becomes a 7. They take another loss. Colonel Butler comes out. He's going to fight Colonel Duffy. They're both equal. Oh my gosh. Colonel Butler is dead. Okay. Colonel Duffy he lost 2 figures, which isn't a whole stand. Our Confederates, 1, 2, 3, 4 stands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the 2nd North Carolina is totally routed. What do you think of that, everyone? Gone. Totally gone. So we'll tighten up our line. Okay. Maybe I should have fired my muskets at long range and not moved. Or I have to reload. this system, you're loaded or unloaded when you fire. So I rolled really bad. Okay. As we continue with turn 2, we have the last card, which is this unit down here, the 1st Rhode Island. And Ivor, if you watch this video, Brother Against Brother is a great rule set. 20, 28, and 6. Okay, in line formation, they're right about there. We're going to put them in, get the extra bonus of 2 6s. So the Rhode Island troops, I form them into column, costing my 6 inches. And in Scott's scenario book, they may have already come in column. But, okay. Wow. So that's really turn 2 in the North Carolina. Okay, so we're going to turn 3. Turn 3, we get this unit, the 3rd Pennsylvania, and the 1st Massachusetts. Everybody for the Union side will be on the table but the artillery battery. Okay. And I'm going to double check. I'm going to pause the camera, make sure my Confederates are coming on are correct. Okay, it's a good thing I checked, because the 2 cavalry units, which actually it's the 4th Virginia Cavalry, and it's 20 figures strong. I made it into 2 units instead of 1. And the artillery battery comes in next turn at the edge. Okay, so I got the cards shuffled again. We got them all ready. Appreciate all of you watching. This video is helping with the Weiss Fork battlefield. And I don't know if I'll finish this game today. We will see. And here we go. We're going to flip a card. Queen. Now the Queen, let's see what you can see out here. The Queen would be the 2nd unit. However, I have them in columns, so I'm going to have the 1st unit move as a queen as the king. So when the king comes up, I'm going to just flip-flop them. I've had that happen over the years. We would play this in a lot of Rev War games at the Gettysburg Area Gamers with Jim Shaw and Josh and Bill Clark, and we would have something in column behind, and we would have that issue. So, and I had 6 and 6, 10, 26, 26, and 7. 20. Wow. All right. So, we're going to lose 6. We're losing 6 to go into line. But we are blocking the road. And there we are. This is 4th Virginia Cavalry with Colonel Wickham. And I got it listed as Company A. All right. So that's where we're at. I'm flipping a card. Oh, it's the ace, which is dead. The 2nd South Carolina is no longer in existence. Put that in the dead pile. Well, we got the Red King, which is 4th Virginia Cavalry. And there it is. Now, in these rules, it costs 6 inches across the fence, I believe, and you cannot charge across it. But We are double checking. Fence is 2 inches per barrier, may not charge. So it's 2 inches. Okay. And I'm going to keep them in column. Wow, I rolled 3 10s. That's 30. And 36 minus 2, I can go about 34 inches. And I cannot charge. So we're going to sprawl out here. And I lost the 6 inches for forming line. Okay, so the 4th Virginia Cavalry Company B is out here. Let me see if you can see Company B. So I have both units now deployed, and we are effectively covering the road. So let's flip another card. And you know, I have so many stories I could tell everyone of the 20 years of the Gettysburg area gamers with Elwood, Woody, Christ, and all the guys, Chris Monzi. We had such a great wargaming group. Unfortunately, many have no longer with us, Rob Wingert and all, but we used to use this brother against brother system so much. It really is good. So isn't Howard Whitehouse's A Gentleman's War. Our 6th Ohio is up, and they have no morale marker. Boy, if I could charge them. And now I lose 2 inches. I can charge the unit on the fence. I can't charge through a fence, but they're at the fence, so that is legal. But they're bigger than I am. I've suffered. By the way, yeah, I suffered 2, 4, 6. I only have 7. I probably will not win that. I'm going to fire my carbines from the saddle. And we're going to go with 20 inches. We're going to go with 20 inches. We get out our chart. We're going to fire 20 inches out with carbines. And a carbine at 20, that's long range. And they are going to have stone wall. That's hard cover. Man, I need ones. Need ones with 2, 4, 6, 7 dice. 6, 7. And I need ones because of that stone wall. And we did get 1, 1. How about that? All right, throw that over there. Roll a d20. Our Colonel Wickham is fine. And Colonel Wickham is fine. And we throw some smoke out here. Now, the one bad thing about brother against brother is, which happened to me once with a French line unit in a Rev War game, I was the last card to come up, and I just got shot to pieces. Okay. We're going to flip another card. It's the king. The king is there. And the king is, what is it, Rhode Island? Rhode Island. Uh, 2 inches across. We're going to have them. We're going to roll our dice. 1822. Let me see what you can see. Okay, our Rhode Island unit is going to form up on the flank there. And I have plenty of movement. So we'll move our unit here. here, here. So, Rhode Island is set. The Queen. Okay, now the Queen, and we'll move our camera. Queen is here. Oh, that's not such a good roll. 15, only 18 inches. Now we're just out here. We're going to keep them in line. This is the 3rd Pennsylvania with Greg. And there's General Greg. We'll just stick them in there for now. I need to get some officers mounted. I have mounted officers somewhere. I couldn't find them. So, there. Okay. And Jack, which is this unit here. And it can't move because of all the stuff in the way between the rules and tape measures, casualty markers, and everything else I got sitting in the way. So, okay, everybody, we're going to take the 1st Massachusetts here, and we're going to advance right up to the rule book and rule sheets. Scott Mingus, if you watch this video, thank you for producing such a good scenario book. So, had an avalanche of dice falling, but we're all right. We're going to move this unit here. 18, 22, 6. Oh, all right. And okay, I'm going to do something gamey. I'm going to put them in column, lose the 6 inches for changing formation. 6 inches in the wood issue. This is the 1st Maine or Massachusetts. I only have a big M on there and an A. Anyhow, their plan now. Colonel Crinsola. By the way, I have a few Little Wars tape measures. Chuckleheads and I got some from Greg and the guys. Very nice people at the Little Wars TV world. And I'm not affiliated with them other than they sort of know who I am pretty well. And I know them, and they're a really nice batch of guys. So, and no, I'm not doing their contest, if you're wondering, because I have a whole different format in how I make my videos. I don't edit anything, hardly ever. So my plan here is going to be, I'm going to cross that fence line and flank these Confederates. All right, all the cards have gone. We're going to turn 4. Now for turn 4, I'm shuffling up the deck. I need to make sure that I got to check the rule book and see how many turns the Union have to get off the table. But that artillery battery that appears there on turn 4, its card will be used to move and set up this turn. It won't get the fire. All right, but the Union are hard pressed to get off the table. It would be helpful if I remembered to read the victory conditions again, so we could. Oh, I'm over here checking. Wow, the victory conditions are this: the Yankees must exit the map northward off that road, reinforce Greg at Brandy Station. the rebels must delay them as long as possible. So, gosh, I don't know how long is possible. So I'm going to roll 2d6. The game is going to last 8 turns. We're on turn 4. Um, so there we go. We have a 4 facing towards the camera. And you can't see that. There it is, turn 4. Okay, all the cards are shuffled. We're going to go ahead and we're going to play the end of turn 4, and then we'll upload this video. Our first card is the Jack. Okay. I have written down that's the Queen, King, King, Ace. Okay, the Jack is our flanking unit. There's the Jack there. Okay, they get 3d6. 17, 21, and 6. 21 and 6. 27 minus 2 for the fence. And you basically make it to about here. Okay. I'll put them like this. All right. And so the first so our 4th Virginia Cavalry is going to be flanked. We're going to flip a card, and it is the King. Okay, now that my units are separated, that's actually that unit there. And the 4th Virginia has casualty, and also it should have gotten a morale chip, but I forgot to put one on it. Okay, so here we go. There's the morale chip. We're going to do our morale check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. They get 2 dice, and they are fine. I knew they would be. Until they lose some real good amount of figures. You're rolling by the amount of figures you have, and then you get so many dice by the type of unit they are, and also a plus with the leader. So they are fine. They've lost 1 figure. We have that. Now the Confederates are trying to stop these now in brother against brother, you really just grab the figures and move them. You don't have to really do a lot of line stuff and formation changes, but I like to do that for my own games because this really is more of a squad level game, but it works fine for these smaller regimental games. I think the Colonel, that unit can't fire muskets at me. They're unloaded. So I'm going to give, I cannot start a charge through a fence. So I cannot go across that fence and charge mounted. So we're going to go ahead and fire muskets. No stone wall. Long range, in the open, 1, 2s, and 3s. All right. And we have 9 figures. 4, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2s, and 3s. Oh my gosh. Not a single. blanky blank hit. Okay, not a single 1, 2, or 3. Now, if you're wondering, I'm using D20s instead of D10s. And the reason I'm doing that is the casualties are literally cut in half. Right? And I don't have to worry about saving throws. And we've used that system since like 1999 or 2001. Whenever we were playing the Gettysburg area gamers, we made that house rule. All right, so I fired away uselessly. Okay, let's flip a card. The Confederates are not having a good morning here. Okay, this is the Union battery is now set up. The Queen. Let me see what you can see here. All right, the Union battery. I pulled the card for that, the 10. So they are actually in place, but they cannot fire this turn. This unit here is up. And we're going to 1727. Okay. This is General Gregg. And he's forming the 3rd Pennsylvania up. Like so. Okay. The King. The King is the 1st Rhode Island. Rhode Island guys are going to give the order to charge. Believe they're veterans. I got D10s over there. It won't be a flank. Yeah, they're veterans. I got to roll anything but 2 zeros. They're going in. They don't have a morale marker. And they hold with it. They got 1 0, but we didn't get a second. So we have a melee going on. And if you're wondering, we're just going to pair these up. And I think what I'll do, so you don't have to, all the Union troops will get a, because most of this unit is behind the wall, we'll get a -1. They have a +1, but they have a leader. The others do not. Rather than you having to watch me roll 1 die on 1 die, I'll pause the camera and come back to you. Okay, everyone, it was a pretty good hand-to-hand combat for the Confederates. They lost like 3 figures. The Union lost 7, I think it is. We're going to do morale checks, but the Confederates are pretty good shape. They are fine on the morale. I got to roll 1, 2, or 3 on both dices, and I failed. Okay, they are running for it. So what's that, the Rhode Island unit? One thing about in the basement all alone, without Kevin, Walt, and everybody, yep, we're running 3D10 to the rear, facing the enemy, ignoring all terrain issues. Okay. Oh, God, almost. All right, so who is this? This is the 1st Rhode Island, and gosh, they're all the way back here. I don't know if you can see this. They get a red marker, and the 4th Virginia has held. Well, that sort of bites. If you want the Union to win, they got their butts kicked. Oh, we have to see if Colonel Wickham is dead. And we roll a 17. He is fine. All right, let's flip a card. And it is the ace, which is the 6th Ohio with 7 figures. No morale marker, unloaded muskets. Stone wall really gives a bonus, which I just learned that, so we are not going to charge. We're going to reload our carbines. And the last card for turn 4 is, of course, the artillery battery. Okay, let me roll the dice for them. And they're on the road, plus 6, 10, 20, a total of 32 inches. Okay, the battery moved, and I had the cards flip-flopped. Just so you know, the 4th Virginia is up. And that's the last card. And I think I'm just going to have the 4th Virginia side slip. So I'm just going to take this figure here. And I know I can roll plenty of dice. We're going to there we go. So this is the second company of the 4th Virginia. Okay. And that ends all the card flipping for this turn. Okay, everyone, we're going to end this for now. This will be Battle of Stevensburg, Brother Against Brother rules using the Crossed Sabres scenario book by Scott Mingus. We played 4 turns. We're going to play another 4. Will the Union get off the table? We had some really seesaw stuff. The 2nd North Carolina was just trashed there. And then by the 6th Ohio, our 1st Rhode Island, which is hiding behind these trees, they got decimated trying to charge another cavalry unit, the 4th Virginia Company A, against a stone wall. And then we have the 3rd Pennsylvania doing the charge here, or preparing for one. And the Maine or Massachusetts unit. In fact, let's look right now. It's a Massachusetts. The 1st Massachusetts is coming in on the flank. And then we have our Confederate battery there. And that's it. All right, everyone. Bruce, Ronald McDonald, anyone else watching this, let me know what you think of this. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and thank you for watching. And don't forget, this supports Weiss Fork Battlefield.